Welcome back to another hearty episode of The Connection. I'm Kristen Brooks, and yes, my boobs are real. Radar Online has cited an anonymous exclusive source who claims that Whitney Houston is flat broke, saying that her fortune is gone. Her rep says the reports are totally false and ridiculous. She just made a movie with Jordan Sparks called Sparkle. It's not completely crazy to think that this is true. She spent the last 20 years chalked up on California cornflakes, cat's pee, gutter glitter, weasel dust, and here's my favorite, sugar boogers. The last great thing she did was The Bodyguard, and let's face it, that wasn't even that great. So it's safe to say her paycheck from that film was blown, which is why she now has to do a film with Jordan Sparks. Demi Moore was rushed to the ER last week, and naturally her rep said it was due to stress and exhaustion. This is a textbook substance abuse situation. Think about it. Extreme amounts of stress would cause anyone to overdo it in the alcohol or drug department. Wouldn't that be great if you could blame your weekend bender on exhaustion? So, are you like me and you've been holding out on this whole Facebook timeline thing, thinking that maybe you won't have to deal with yet another change to your profile? Well, Facebook announced last week that Timeline will be coming to all users in the next few weeks, and you'll have 7 days to preview it and hide whatever content you don't want that creepy guy in your office to see. Better get on that. Question: which do you think is more valuable, the White House or one single Apple store? Well, believe it or not, it's almost a tie. Apple sells an annual average of $4,709 worth of merchandise per square foot in its hundreds of stores across the world. Meanwhile, the presidential mansion in Washington is valued at $4,752 per square foot, according to real estate website Zillow. This is obviously a good comparison for one of those priceless MasterCard commercials, but it is a great way to explain the cash cow that Apple stores have become. Well, it's the Giants-Patriots part deux, and the Super Bowl hype is, as always, ridiculous. Even the name of the event is ridiculous and filled with, well, hype. The only thing that hypes me up for this event is the thought of a Super Bowl of chicken wings, some ice-cold beer, and really just deciding what outfit to wear that says, I don't like the Giants, but today I do. I don't know. Radical presidential hopeful Randall Terry, good luck, says he will be airing campaign ads featuring graphic abortion images during the Super Bowl in various markets, including Oklahoma, Missouri, Illinois, and Wisconsin. Now, I thought about showing you some clips from these ads, but honestly, they're so graphic that I doubt even pro-lifers would want to see them. But since legislation for the SOPA and PIPA bills were dropped because the government managed to, piss off the entire internet, you could check out the completely inappropriate ads at randallterryforpresident.com. Now, in what could be possibly Obama's last State of the Union address, he defended a long list of his trademark policies: tax increases on the wealthy, Wall Street and healthcare reform, government stimulus spending, and blah, 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 blah. I don't know. All I heard was clapping. That frickin' clapping. That's all I heard. I heard nothing else, really, except for the clapping. Though it's been over a week, I think it's necessary to lead off the news that shook our area last week. Former Penn State football coach Joe Paterno died due to complications from cancer, but I'd argue that Paterno died of a broken heart. It's a very sad ending for a man who definitely deserved better. R.I.P. Joe Pa. Now it's time for a special segment I like to call What Would Kristen Do? These are everyday scenarios that reflect how and why I'd react. Sometimes the scenarios will be real, totally fake, or personal, but mostly fake. Alrighty, so a woman needs to fill a prescription at a pharmacy but doesn't have the money to pay for it. I'd definitely reach into my wallet and, out of the kindness of my heart, hand her the money that she needed. She would then politely refuse, and the generous young man to my right would then pay for her prescription. I'd leave, she'd leave, and then we'd high five in the parking lot because it's a genius way to not have to pay for your drugs. And now it's time for this week's poll question. Have you already broken your New Year's resolution? Or do you take my approach and you don't even bother coming up with some crazy commitment to do something that you really don't want to do? Either way, let me know. You can hit me up with your answer through our Twitter, Facebook page, or by commenting below. Jim Carrey's 24-year-old daughter Jane auditioned for American Idol, and of course, she's going to Hollywood. Surprise, surprise. UsMagazine.com quoted her as saying she didn't want special treatment because of who her dad is. She went on to say that there's a certain pressure to be better because if she makes it somewhere, she runs the risk of people saying, "You only got there because of your name." Really? Duh! God, of course people are going to think that, and there is absolutely no way that they will think otherwise. Tough luck, Jane. Gosh. Tune in 2 Mondays from now for more of me and everything you didn't know and didn't need to know on The Connection. Week 1. And now it's time for this week's poll question. Have you ever broken... Fuck. I wrote this. Why can't I read it? God. Though it's been over a week, I think it's necessary to lead off this portion of the show, the news... Oh, wait, shit. No, that's wrong. My boobs are real. Blah, 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 blah. Legislation. The last great thing she did was The Bodyguard, and, well, let's face it, that wasn't even... Fuck. The only thing that hypes me up hypes me up, you up. No, wasn't it some crazy ancient place like Babylon or something like that that made promises to their gods at the start of each year that they'd return the shit that they borrowed from like their neighbor and they'd pay off all their debts or something like that? No? I wonder if my credit card companies would accept a shekel of barley. Would that work? Think that they'd accept that? Be cool.